Yo, what's up, man? Shout out to Puff. You know, when I started covering this trial, when I started covering this case, what emerged from this case for me, what I saw over and over again was almost like divine intervention in this guy's life, in Puffy's life. There were times throughout this trial where, the verdict, the acquittal, him beating the feds at trial was just like one incident. But there were others, man, where it seemed as if God himself or the sun, moon, and stars reached down into this trial, into this guy's life. I'm talking about Puff. And just cleared things out for Puff to win, for this nigga to keep winning. Puffy keeps winning. He keeps winning. And it's been like that the whole trial. It's been like that the whole trial. And why do I say that? You know, I watched the interview yesterday with Lauren Conlon and the guy Raymond Castillo that was in MDC Brooklyn with Puff. And just to listen to that interview and what Raymond Castillo said about his time with Puff in MDC Brooklyn and what they experienced and what he saw, you know, there's something divine, there's something godly about Puff. There's something I don't know what's a word to use other than godly or divine, as if he is touched by God, right? When I listened to that interview, how this nigga is impacting, how he impacted that unit he was in MDC Brooklyn, how he impacted the dudes that was in there. No fights while Puff was in there. Coming together of different races while Puff was in there. Beats the feds at trial. His lawyers destroy all of the government witnesses. He doesn't call no witnesses. He doesn't call no witnesses. And gets acquitted. Beats the feds at trial. Doesn't rap, doesn't cooperate. Bets on himself. Takes all of his money and bets on himself. And what's in the pot, what's in the middle of the table, it's a heads-up poker match with the Southern District of New York, and Puff, and Puffy pushes all of his money in the middle and bets on himself and wins. And to hear that dude yesterday, Raymond Castillo, talk about how he felt it was a blessing from the sky that he got to meet and hang out with Puff. Not Puffy the entertainer, not Puffy the wine mogul, not Puffy the fashion mogul, but Sean Combs, the regular nigga, got to hang out with him and meet him. And he said Puffy was speaking life into them dudes in there, man. I saw this over and over throughout the trial, that this nigga just has good luck. But the good luck that I'm talking about, the reason things are working out for Puffy is because it's something good in him. There's something good in him. Dudes, people, human beings that are trash cans, that are pieces of shit, good things don't work out for them like that. Not from the universe perspective. Everything has worked out for Puff. And it keeps working out. No matter what they have done, it hasn't stopped him. Character assassination in mainstream media has not killed him. Character assassination and lies from other rappers, other people in the entertainment industry hasn't destroyed him. Government witnesses that used to work for him, or his girlfriends, took the stand against him to help send him to prison for life, got on the stand and pointed the finger. Didn't work. He didn't have a stroke. He didn't have a heart attack. He didn't have a nervous breakdown. And let me go into that part right there, because y'all are looking at this from a YouTube perspective or from a social media perspective. You're not looking at it from a person who is going through that situation. I know what that's like. I don't know to the extent that Puff went to on trial, with the loss being life without the possibility of parole. I don't know about that, but I do know about that federal, that FBI, that federal pressure of the investigation. I know about that. There were many nights that I didn't get no sleep. There were many days where my heart, I would be riding around in the car and my heart would be about to jump out my chest, scared, confused, terrified, angry. Everybody doesn't survive a federal investigation. A lot of men and women who, when they get arrested, investigated, and indicted by the feds, they take their own joint. They take their own joint. I remember a story of this Jewish dude that I was in Morgantown with. He was in there on a $30 million white collar crime. He was an insurance guy. And him and his partner got indicted for, they were selling some kind of insurance product and were ripping people off or whatever the case may be. He got indicted, his partner got indicted. The feds seized all of their assets. His partner, they were going through the process together. His partner took his own life from the pressure. That's what I'm talking about. Puffy didn't do that. This dude is amazing, man. What this dude did is amazing. It's amazing. And you can't appreciate it, but you know who appreciates this? The niggas that follow me, that did FACETIME. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I'm talking about. And we all of us that are from that fraternity, Fed Phi Fed, we take our hats off to this guy because we done heard the stories, been through it. And we applaud Puff. We applaud Puff. You look at us like we jocking him, we sweating him, we on his jock. Nah. If you ever did Fed Time, you would know. That's why he's gonna be cool in there. Puff gonna be fine in there. That nigga, man, now, he goes for bail. They deny him. That don't break him. He goes for bail 4 or 5 times. They deny him 4 or 5 times. That doesn't break his spirit. They over-sentence him. That doesn't break his spirit. Dude is amazing, man. And we now know that the nigga is in general population. Puff is in general population. The dude Raymond Castillo say he ain't getting no special privilege, nothing. He in there with everybody else, and that nigga standing on his square. Standing on his square. Nothing of what nobody said about Puff is true or was true. Nothing that Suge Knight said about Puff came out at the trial. Nothing of what 50 Cent said about Puffy came out at the trial. Nothing of what nobody said about Puffy came out at the trial. None of it. It was all lies, man. And this nigga is prevailing. He prevailed. And he gonna get through Fort Dix. He gonna get through Fort Dix. Let me tell you what his day is gonna be like. He's gonna get counted 2 times every day. Or is it 3? No, it's 3 count times. Because you get counted after lunch, before you go back to your work detail. You get counted at 4 o'clock count, and then you get counted at night, the 9 o'clock count. Puffy is gonna get counted 3 times every single day. Every day. And on Saturday, it might be 4. He's gonna get a work detail. From what I understand, from some sources that I know, Puffy is already working in the laundry department. He's been assigned to laundry services. That's just what I heard. I don't know it to be facts. But wherever he's working at, he will have a job to go to every day. He will have to report to work. Most likely he's going to work in the mornings so that he can be back at the unit in the afternoon for group sessions for the RDAP program. I didn't do RDAP, but I knew a lot of dudes that did RDAP. And, RDAP is pretty strict. It's very regimented. It's very strict. And, one of the requirements is, you're gonna have a job, right? So he's gonna wake up every morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, maybe go to breakfast main line with the whole compound. He is not in protective custody. Puffy is in general population on the compound with respect, standing like a man amongst men. He's gonna come back from breakfast, whatever he does, then he's gonna have to report to work probably by like 7:30, 7:45. And then he'll work on his work detail until probably 2 o'clock, 2:30, and he'll go back to the unit and probably get involved with the RDAP. I guess that's when they do it. He'll probably get paid somewhere like about 6 to 7 cents an hour. He'll make probably $15, $17 a month. I don't know what they pay in laundry services. My first job was window washing. I got paid a nickel an hour. And when my check came every month, it was like $15, $14 and some change. Then I switched my job to the education department and I got a raise, and then my monthly check was $34.21 for the month. That's what he is gonna be, that's the kind of money he's gonna be making while he's doing his work detail in there. You know, he's gonna go to mainline lunch. He's gonna eat hamburgers every Wednesday. Chicken day is every Thursday. And he's gonna eat on mainline with everybody on the compound. He's not gonna have no special privileges. Puffy is an inmate at Fort Dix, and he will be treated as such. He will go eat dinner with all of the dudes on the compound at 4:45, 5 o'clock. We eat lunch. Eat dinner. And then he'll go back to the unit and do whatever they do in the drug program. I don't know. But at 9 o'clock, the COs come back around and do the 9 o'clock count. He'll have to stand by his bunk. He's probably going to be in a unit that has a bunch of bunk beds. He'll probably be in a unit with maybe about 150 dudes, and then there'll be different sections, 40 dudes here, 50 dudes here, 50 dudes here, and he'll have a bunkie. You know, I don't know if he'll be on the bottom bunk or the top bunk. Most likely when you get there, there's already a nigga on the bottom bunk, so you get up on the top bunk, unless there's just an empty bunk with nobody on the top, nobody on the bottom, and you could grab the bottom bunk. He will take a shower with shower shoes. He will take showers in a community bathroom. The bathroom where I was at Morgantown and Girard unit, we had about 8 sinks in a line with a mirror that went around the whole wall. There were 4 stalls for toilets and about 4 urinals. And there was 4 showers. One on that corner of the bathroom, one on that corner, one on this corner, and one on that corner. And you had to wait your turn to take a shower. You would hang your towel outside the shower to let everybody know you was next. And you take your shower with shower shoes. You don't want to get in the shower with bare feet because niggas jerk off in the shower. Some have HIV, some have herpes, gonorrhea, and some are dirty and their bodily fluids are going on the shower. So you got to take your shower with shower shoes. He's gonna go stand on the commissary line. He's gonna buy his food from the commissary line. He's gonna have to buy his soap, his toothpaste, his tuna fish, his ketchup, his mustard. I don't think they sell applesauce. I know Puffy loved applesauce. His mayonnaise, his sweet relish to make his tuna fish. He's gonna buy a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly. He could buy a loaf of bread. All this stuff he could buy off the commissary. Honey buns, Snicker bars, soda. He's gonna have to buy him a new pair of sneakers to work out in. Buy him some sweats, a sweatshirt, a pair of sweatpants. Puffy will only get to spend $300 a month on commissary. If he spends the whole $300 in the first week, he doesn't go to commissary no more until the following month. You can only spend $300 a month. So you need to ration it out and spend $75 a week so you could go to the store every week. He's only going to get 300 minutes on the phone per month. If you talk up your 300 minutes in the first 3 days of the month, you cannot use the phone for the next 27 days until they replenish your minutes. That's going to be his life. That's how he's going to live for the next year, year and a half, however long he's in there. He's going to be fine. He's going to meet some very, very smart men. He's going to meet a lot of good dudes in there. I think personally that there are going to be some dudes that have a special affinity for Puff, knowing what he went through, knowing that he's an innocent man and got targeted in a prosecution that never should have happened. And I think some of these men are going to step forward and let it be known, like, you know, don't fuck him up while you in here. Like giving him a cell phone or doing anything to jack off his time. Leave that man alone, let him do his time, and let him go back to his family. There are dudes in there that are like that, that will step up and speak up for him and let everybody know, you know, don't try to do nothing stupid to make him lose his good time and keep him away from his family. Most of the dudes in there respect him for how he stood tall and he stood up like a man. So from that reason, you know, they're gonna look out for him, I believe. Yeah, there's gonna be niggas in there that don't like him for whatever reason. What's up, man? You made it home? All right, I'm gonna call you right back. I'm finna finish up a video. All right. Now, hold on a second. I'll call you back. You know, there's going to be some dudes that's not going to like him for whatever reason. You know, but I don't think anybody is going to confront him on that style, on that tip, because that's really not... The feds is a lot of respect. You know, in the federal system, Puffy's gonna be in the compound with killers, people that have murdered other people, people that have had murder attempts done on them. These are real street guys that he's gonna be there with real killers. But they are not. These men are not on that bullying type situation. Everybody is very respectful in the federal system. Please, excuse me. Thank you. You know, that's the way it always starts. If that is not shown and somebody feels like they're disrespected, then it can escalate to physical activity and possibly the loss of life. But it doesn't usually start out like that. From my experience, but I was at a low that you needed camp points to get to. It didn't have a fence. There was niggas that started up there in the USP that made it down to where I was at. But from what I understand, throughout the federal system, respect is a must. It's mandatory. And as long as you giving that, you're gonna be all right. It's when you don't give that is when things get a little crazy. But you know, Puffy is one step closer to coming home. He's one step closer to coming home, and you know, that's a good thing. You know, all he's got to do is just walk this little bit of time off, and he's gonna do it, and he'll be back out, reunited with his family, and you know, who knows what's gonna happen at that point. But I just wanted to come on here and do this video real quick. Let me get up out of here. Peace.